Why is it in the last 10 years that we have experienced leadership, has it been one of the ugliest periods of American history and global history? And why specifically is business betting the farm on AI, which could turn out to be one of the biggest disasters? A YouTuber recently asked 8 different AI models to describe Donald Trump in one word. No leading questions, no mention of business or CEOs or disruption theory at all. Just describe him. That's the first word that comes to mind. Trump has been one of the most disruptive presidents in modern American history, forcing everyone else to react to him. After more than a decade at the center of American politics, he remains the person around whom almost every major political debate revolves. No wonder that when the President of the United States decides he's going to be the ultimate disruptor, that we enter a phase of ugly disruption, marked by recklessness, outrageousness, and unclear benefits for mankind. That's the culture Musk and Altman built their companies inside of. If you, like me, believe this is a very important topic, as is anything that influences leadership and how we support the march of civilization, then hit the subscribe button. And please don't forget to add a comment down below, ask any question, or make any kind of reference to this video. I'd be happy to see it and respond. 3 names come to mind immediately when you think of ugly, disruptive leadership: Elon Musk and Sam Altman in business, and Donald Trump, both in business and in politics. So in previous videos, I've talked about Sam Altman and Elon Musk's need to use public forums as their personal either psychiatrist couch or performance stage, justification stage, ways to be more outrageous than they were before. This all is very unsettling for a global community of over 8 or 9 billion people who want to see more steady leadership, want to know a more comforting future, a future that they recognize. 8 or 9 billion people are not waiting there to have their lives completely disrupted. So what has happened is we've been able to justify the crazy, outrageous, bet the farm type of behavior that we're seeing now. And the problem is we do not see the net benefits of any of this. In the days when I would say we were in good disruption, when Clayton Christensen had really laid the foundation for understanding the word disruptive innovation, things were clearer. We could immediately see the destruction that was happening that was short-term and immediate benefits: lower priced goods, more available goods, and so forth at price points that were much better for mass market distribution of products that had really been left to the wealthy, or at least those who had the money to spend. Now, let's talk about one of the fundamental aspects of ugliness: obvious hypocrisy. There's a lot of it that goes on, from Donald Trump completely denying what happened in the 2020 election, to turning that into a whole movement, to Elon Musk, who at one point said that AI was going to lead to the extinction of mankind, and then turning around and starting his own AI tool, and then starting a lawsuit against Sam Altman, who he believes violated the idea of an open AI, when he himself is doing that. Sam Altman is also just rife with contradictions and hypocrisy. On the one hand, he goes to the US government arguing in favor of high regulation, really putting regulations in place for this new industry because of the danger posed. And then he goes to Europeans and tells them to relax regulations and give it the space it needs to breathe. Now, if you know Europe and America, on some level that's understandable, but it reeks of hypocrisy and a lack of understanding and direction that this is going to take. Meanwhile, most regulators are completely hamstrung as to understand where this is going, because it is really a bunch of men with lots of money behind them spending billions and trillions of dollars for something that on the surface looks like it may be a great thing. But I think we hear more videos about the dangers to humanity. I believe that this is not going to make mankind extinct, by the way. But with the behavior such as what we're seeing, it is very hard for people to keep faith that this is going in a direction that will aid them both as part of a community, but also individually. Now let's talk about the mistakes that AI can make, and there are plenty of them. Everything from factual mistakes to not reading your emails properly. I ask Claude often to go into my email box and let me know what I haven't answered, and to even compose an email. Now, I will sit back and realize there were several emails he did not find, or I call it did not find. That's a mistake. If I ask Claude or anybody to go through all my emails, I assume they'll go through all of them and make sure that I've caught all of them. I find I go back repeatedly saying, did you look at this email or this email address, knowing full well there was an email that was not found. There are factual errors. There's one error that in particular I found very amusing, although now it really troubles me. So I wanted to use a quote once in a video. And that quote, I wanted to really sort of summarize everything. I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was a really great quote, really pretty much encapsulated what I was trying to say. But it said anonymous as the contributor of that quote. I went back and said, no, could you find a similar quote, or a quote that does the same sort of, has the same sort of power and relevance, but from a named speaker or famous person? And so I got a quote back from Abraham Lincoln. Guess what? It was the exact same quote that I had gotten before, only now had the name of Abraham Lincoln. So there are a lot of these mistakes, individual mistakes, that when perpetrated turns into falsehood, fake news, fake, whatever you want to call it, so that we're now really on the lookout for that constantly, especially in these videos. Another thing that I find very bothersome is this viewing of technology as the Holy Grail, as a spirit, almost spiritual existence. I've had several clients. There is, in leadership development, I always run up against one of the big topics, which is how do I keep my teams accountable? And inevitably, the bulk of the CEOs want to know what sort of project management tool or what software could they implement that can record their commitments and he can refer to it. I'm sorry, but that is not how accountability works. Accountability is a mindset, is a commitment. It's a commitment to doing the right thing. And when you promise to do something, that you have the integrity to either get it done or at least own up to the fact that whatever you committed yourself didn't happen for whatever reason. And when you lose that as a mindset, then I don't care what software or what project management tool you use, it's not going to replace the fact that you shouldn't be trusting your team. Because the problem with software is it's very easy to lie with software. It's very easy to say you did something when you didn't do it. And the other thing is it doesn't place the CEO or the leader at the place where it needs to, where he or she needs to sit, which is at the end, to look at the results. If you're constantly getting stuck in the weeds through a project management tool, you're losing sight of what the main role you have, or one of the main roles, is to judge effectiveness of a team by the output, by what they're doing. You shouldn't worry so much about how they're doing it or what sort of commitments they made. Technology is a tool, that's all it is. So that's my thoughts on technology. Finally, there's my sense of goodness and rightness in the world. We all may have somewhat different versions of it, and certainly religion has prepared us to really accept the fact that there is a thing such as goodness that can be perpetrated in the world. We've gotten to the point now where I think most people don't even know what is considered good or right. That there is one thing that you have to say about us, and we are human beings. Human beings are faulty. Human beings, however, are capable of love, of contrition, and of renewing themselves, of renovating their lives, reaffirming themselves. So I hope I was able to add something to the discussion of what's going on today. I am passionate about it, but I'm also trying to be as dispassionate as possible to really understand what is driving this. And I hope I gave you an idea of that. So please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And I look forward to continuing this dialogue with you through the comment box.